Hi friends, welcome to My Bar Education YouTube channel. This is Gogula Srinivas. I am working at ZPHS Rajol, Korea Mandal. Today we are going to discuss about the coordination system. So what is the coordination? What is the importance of coordination? So we have the many systems, many life activities. So those are digestion, respiration, and reproduction, etc. So these all activities carried out by different organs. So we have the many organs, we have the many tissues, many cells. So we are belongs to multicellular organisms. That's why we have that hundreds of millions of cells. So among these cells, the coordination is very necessary. Without coordination, the organs are not worked individually. That's why these all organs are worked with together. That's why this is carried out by only through the coordination system. That means the linking system. So the coordination mainly discharged by two systems. They are called one is the nervous system, number two endocrine system. So now today I explain about nervous system. Nervous system has nerve cells or neurons. Number two glial cells. So these two cells the formation of nervous system. So the nervous system according to your body, the mammals, the function of the nervous system, the nervous system is divided in three ways, three parts. First one is the central nervous system. Number two, peripheral nervous system. Number three, automatic nervous system. So now the first one, CNS, means central nervous system. This has two parts. One is the brain, number two spinal cord. The first one is the brain. The brain very most important organ in our body. Compared with other animals, the weight of the brain is more than to other organisms. That is the very important in our mammals, in our human beings. So the brain that is situated in the skull. This is covered with, this is protected by the cranium, that is the bony box. The bony box protected from the surroundings, protect from the injuries and accidents and other actions. So this is the main part, brain. So the brain covered with three layers, three membranes. The outer layer is dura mater, and the middle layer is arachnoid membrane, and inside of the layer is called pia mater. So these three layers protect the brain. So the inside layer is dura pia mater, and middle layer is arachnoid membrane. Among these two layers, one liquid is there, one fluid is there. The fluid is called cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid. So this fluid helps for the protect from the injuries and other shocks surrounding of brain. So the brain is the outer part of the brain is gray color. The inside of the brain is white color. Why? Because the outer side of the brain is consists the cytons of the neurons. The cytons of the neuron is gray color. That's why the bundle of the neurons, the bundle of the cytons of the neurons, gray color. That's why the outer layer, the outer part of the brain is also in white, gray color. But inside of the brain, that is white color. Why? Because the axons, the bundles of many lot of neurons, axons are covered with myelinated sheet. That is a lipid layer. The layer is white color. That's why the axons, the inside of the brain is white color. So now, brain. The brain is divided in three parts. The first part is forebrain. First part is forebrain. Other name is prosencephalon. Cephalon means that is the head. So in our science, every word or every term has a meaning. Why? Because the terms derive from the Latins or Greek words. So first of all, we identified the terms. So forebrain means the inside part of the brain. That's why the name is called forebrain. Other name is prosencephalon. Number 2, midbrain. This is the situated in the middle part of the brain. Number 3, hindbrain. This is the behind part of the brain. So we have in our brain 3 parts: forebrain, prosencephalon, midbrain, mesencephalon, hindbrain, and rhombencephalon. First part, forebrain. Again, the forebrain has divisions, 2 divisions. The first one is cerebrum. Number 2, diencephalon. So the cerebrum is most large place of the brain. So this is the structure of the brain. So these are almost this structure of in the diagram of brain. Most part is constituted by the cerebrum. For example, in our body we have the 1365 grams of brain. In that 1365 grams of brain, that 900 above grams has only cerebrum. So the cerebrum, in the middle of the cerebrum, one middle fissure is there. The fissure divided the cerebrum in 2 parts, 2 hemispheres. They are called cerebral hemispheres. The left side is called left cerebral hemisphere. The right side is called right cerebral hemisphere. So these cerebrum hemispheres control the in our body. The left cerebral hemisphere controls the right side of the body parts, and the right cerebral hemisphere controlling of the body actions of the left side of the body parts, left side of the body. So this cerebrum has many folds. The cerebrum has many folds. These folds occurred only in the mammals, that is only in the human beings. Not folds are not appear in other organisms. This is the very important point. The folds, what are the folds? The folds are the brain, the cerebrum has some elevations and depressions. The elevations are called gyri. The depressions are called sulci. So these folds, these gyri and sulci help for the lie many neurons in that. So these many neurons you have in our brain. Actually in our brain, in the human being brain, we have the 10 billion above we have. 10 billion above. That means 1 billion is equal to 100 crores. So we have many neurons. So these neurons, and we have the more neurons that will help for the more knowledge, gain the more knowledge and other function and controlling of other actions. This is only possible in the human being. So cerebrum, the hemispheres. What is the function of cerebrum? the function what is the function of cerebrum? The function of cerebrum is mostly that has the many centers. The centers help for the controlling of or coordination of the mainly speech and some motion, the action of the movements, and other one is memory and thinking knowledge, logical thinking. These are all possible through the cerebrum. Next one, second part, diencephalon. The last part of the cerebrum is last part of the forebrain is called diencephalon. The diencephalon, the ventral part is the diencephalon ventral part is called epithalamus, and dorsal part is called hypothalamus. The epithalamus consists of the pineal gland, and hypothalamus containing of pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland, this is the diencephalon. This is the diencephalon. The diencephalon has hypothalamus. The hypothalamus prolonged and carried to through the pituitary gland. This gland, this other name is called master gland. This gland helps for the controlling of other glands, other secretion of glands. So that is the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, and other also the hypothalamus show the other actions. They are controlling of a body temperature. That means cold and heat condition. Then hungry, ఆకలి కావడం, hungry, etc. So again hangry. These are all actions are take place by this diencephalon. So number 2, midbrain. The midbrain has haptic lobes, and the midbrain connected the forebrain to hindbrain. This is like a tube-like structure. This is the connection between forebrain and hindbrain. So the midbrain has some haptical lobes. These haptic lobes help for the visuality, vision, the vision to the organism, human being. So this is the midbrain, and also help for the some relay of some motion activities. Our muscular motion activities relay through the midbrain to hindbrain. The last part is called hindbrain. This is the last part. After that, this hindbrain continue to spinal cord. So the hindbrain has also 2 divisions. The first one is cerebellum. Number 2, medulla oblongata. Cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Cerebellum is the ending part of the brain. This is also very important part in our body. This is help for the controlling of voluntary actions. The coordination of voluntary actions, and help for the posture, the body posture. What is the posture? What is the situation? What is the state of our body? That is depend on the cerebellum. Posture, equilibrium, and voluntary action coordination. This is taken by cerebellum. Okay. Next one, the last one, medulla oblongata. And the other part is called pons varolii. This is also part of the hindbrain. The last one, medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. This is the medulla oblongata. This medulla oblongata is last part of the brain. This is continued to spinal cord. So the medulla oblongata helps for controlling of involuntary actions. What are the involuntary actions? The involuntary actions are the respiration process. What is the movement of food in our gut, and the uh, contraction of the heart, the heartbeat, and the function of kidney means the formation of urine. What is the motion of the inside of the kidney parts? These are all depend on the medulla oblongata. So this is really most important part. So this is the uh, function of the medulla oblongata. This is the function of the brain. So these are really most important in our body. So next one, PNS, peripheral nervous system. That means some neurons arise from the brain and spinal cord. The neurons are from the brain is 12 pairs, from the spinal cord is 31 pairs, total 43 pairs. These all call in peripheral nervous system. The last one, automatic nervous system. This is the involuntary system. This is not completely dependent on the brain. This is the worked involuntarily. That's why this is called automatic nervous system. This is the our lesson. Thank you.